everyone, and welcome back to This Is the Police. Last time we ended on a very poor note, a very piss-poor note. A city police chief not elected position, says Mayor Rogers. Mayor proves his commitment to nepotism. Mayor Rogers, if my nephew wants to lead the police, I support him. So I don't know if you remember, but yesterday we lost almost all of Shift B. Birch didn't come into work today. I'm too tired, I can hardly walk straight. Can I go home? Yes, you're old. We have a stripe to give out. Let's give a stripe to, Norlander. No music today. We lost all of Shift B. Hire female cops. Considering certain recent events, we are obligated to grant some concessions to the feminists. You must make sure at least half of the staff at the police station are women. You have 3 days. I can't promise that. Crystal, Shift B. Bloomingdale, Shift B. Adama, Shift B. Munn, Shift B. Huff, Shift B. And we're only down one person. Alright, send that. And hopefully that will get approved or not before, that'll get approved or not before the 3 days are up, because we are not going to be able to do that. I think we just simply can't. I'm not going to fire men to even the odds, not when we're so low on cops. I wouldn't do that anyway. A taxi driver heard someone screaming and noticed a few people gathering on the bridge as he was driving past toward the port. He stopped to see if anyone needed help, but as he approached he saw that a man was threatening to throw himself and two children into the icy water below. Jason left us. I lost my job in the house, and there's no way we'll survive. It's better everything just ends now. To the taxi driver, it looked like suicide. Alright, so we're gonna send White, Megadopoulos, and Grant. Grant could use a stripe, actually. She's the last one. She and Stovall are the last ones. An elderly man speaking in a raspy whisper just reported a break-in. There's someone in my house. They're pounding on the door and marching all around downstairs. Hurry. Let's take Stovall can go. Fall can go. Shift A is pretty good. Two tearful boys, clearly in a state of shock, are standing dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. Beside them, their drunk and distraught father is slowly pushing the children closer to the bridge. Don't worry there, everything's gonna be fine. Don't be upset, my friend. Tell me about your husband. Don't be upset, my friend. Tell me about your wife. He is gay, said Jason left us. A strong gust of wind almost blows one of the children off the bridge, but he recovered at the last moment and stumbled to the ground with a scuffed knee. Stay back and try not to agitate the man. Rush to the aid of the children. Look, quit fooling around. These children have suffered enough already. The man slurs his words, saying there's no point in delaying the inevitable. Your children have their whole lives in front of them. You can't make this decision for them. Point the gun at the man. Order him to step away. Think about what you're doing. There's people who care about you. He's drunk. He's probably not... He's not thinking about the well-being of his children. 411. Okay. Okay, good. Good job, guys. Good job. Secretary Abigail Jones told the police that her boss, Martin Kabak, returned from the meeting in quite a state. When he entered, he took a bag of white powder from his safe and shut the door. Now he's yelling incessantly and making a scene, demanding his secretary deliver him the head of a unicorn, or he'll cut her throat with a letter opener, then go after the rest of her family. Norlander, that sounds like a job for you. I'd like these guys to get back. Because the Sands could need us at any moment. Oh no, the Sands don't, like... There's no one except the dogs at the house. They were scratching the door because they wanted to go outside. Alright. Let's take some people off of this. Detectives. Let's take Moser and Delozer off of it. Destruction of property at the church. A young drunken biker broke into the church and rode around between the pews, defiled the sacred crucifix, and fled the scene. Good job, Norlander. Oh, I found cocaine. Yeah, let's sell the cocaine. Holy shit. Sans need help at the Octopus restaurant. A member of the family was out of the restaurant having dinner with his secret lover, but because the affair was secret, he was led in protection, and one of Vargas' agents was able to slip a grenade into the room. This is a job best handled by the police, unofficially, of course. It's a shame Birch didn't come in. Although, he's probably grieving for Birch Jr. Birch Jr.'s funeral was last episode, so... You know, we kind of understand. Investigation started. Alright, Clara Mason, parishioner. I've been going to Sunday service for 36 years, and this is the first time I've ever seen such a disgrace. Some crazy young man on a motorcycle drove straight through the doors of God's temple and began running around, shouting blasphemy. He even dared to raise his hand to the Holy Father Nunez. What's wrong with the youth of today? Jerome Nunez, Holy Father? It all happened so quickly. The guy drove straight between the pews, almost crushing a parishioner. Then he looked into the confessional and threw in a bottle. Then he ran up to me and shouted, "The devil sits on the roof of the church." Then he shoved me. I fell to the floor, and the crazy man shouted, "My hand is as hard as stone. I'll knock you out of the saddle, Satan." And then he threw his helmet at the cross above the altar and sped away. Thomas Greer's parishioner. I was in the confessional when it happened. I was waiting for Father Nunez to finish his sermon so he could hear me. I've sinned so much this week. As I was sitting in the confessional, I heard the noise of an engine, like a motorcycle. There was a roar, and a man shouted, "Come, Lucifer, do not hide from me." A few seconds later, a young man in a black leather jacket opened the door of the confessional and yelled, "I will seek out the devil wherever he may hide." And then he threw a bottle at me. The shard stuck in my face. At the crime scene, we found a black helmet with a white spot on top. On the pavement near the church, we found traces of 3 motorcycle tires. 3? That's interesting. Unless it was like a tripod motorcycle? Is that what they're called? You know, like a motorcycle that has a car on the back? There's probably going to be different pictures of the motorcycle. One with 2 wheels and one with 3.
710 in progress.
Alright, hostage situation with a fatal casualty. A man wearing a suit walked into the lobby of the bank, locked the doors, and proceeded to kill several customers. He never said a word, he just started firing at people, reported one eyewitness. A dozen people remain inside the building, and the criminal's demands are as yet unknown. Alright, Stovall, Nordlander, Fall. That should be enough. Because we have the SWAT with us, too. Megadopoulos and Grant are back. Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll send everybody. Why not? They got there super quick, so they're not too far away. Of course. Okay, we have 40 seconds for this, so fingers crossed. Because we want to keep the Sands ahead. Yeah, and everybody lived. And civilians are unharmed, except for the people that are already dead. And they're probably going to get back before 22 seconds is up. So that I can send Grant and Megadopoulos and maybe White out to help the Sands. A sweet girl named Anna is one of our key assets in a large accounting firm. She just got home from work and her house was on fire. And the assholes that started it were still standing around admiring their handiwork. Wouldn't it be pretty if someone cracked open their skulls and tossed them into the flames? Sounds like a job for Grant and Megadopoulos. Alright, so we got some more frames. Alright, so then they wait for him, and then he crosses the street, and then they run him over. Or maybe it's like this. Maybe it's like this. Or maybe it's like this. Maybe it's like this. No, that's last. Alright, I don't think we have everything. Alright. Okay, so that might be Nunes. Alright, so that bike has three wheels. That's a helmet with a white spot on top. So he throws that after he shoves. I don't know if that counts as shoving, though, that image. We'll find out. Let's end the day. Oh, the sands are dominating. Alright, 86% of residents opposed to demolition of corn monument. Good. Businessmen expressed desire to leave city. Movie production studio may appear in Freeburg. The fact always grounding us. Always letting us know that things aren't as bad as they seem. McCoy didn't come up to work today. Moon didn't come into work today. Some friends of mine asked to help out at their animal shelter. No! I'm too tired. Sure. I drank too much. No! Jesus H. Christ. Shift B, you're a fucking train wreck. Okay, got another detective. Let's get him. Who needs it? Who has 4? Alright, so Shift B needs it. Shift B needs you. You can also come in for Shift B. Raise! Yes, another police officer. Alright, so I just hired somebody for B, so Shift A actually needs somebody. So you can come in for Shift A. Quatch. Upgrade to the SWAT team. Let's make them work more. Awesome. Let's share everything with the staff. Oh my god, we have so few people. Huff and Austin, you're gonna go. The Sands main attorney is under guard around the clock, and that goes double for his children. But before we could pick them up from school this morning, some of Vargas's punks kidnapped them. We don't know how Vargas found them. They live under false names. Anyway, you'll need to act quickly. They can't have gotten far. Shift B is a disaster. It's been a fight in an elementary school. 2 senior students began a fight right in the middle of chemistry class. Their teacher, Dolores Ponder, first tried to calm them down, but when she attempted to separate them, she was poked in the eye. Adama, go take care of this. We only have 5 officers today. We should have 9. Alright, there's been a theft at the Museum of Feelings and Fine Art. At night, a little-known painting by Dutch master de Vroom, recently shown for the first time, disappeared from the museum. One of the museum's windows was broken, and there's a brick line on the floor inside. Mole, you're up with Armstrong behind you. Drug sales at the hospital. Mrs. Dunbar said that a nurse tried to sell her drugs right in the hospital. I went to the doctor after I broke my arm. The nurse heard me complaining about the pain and waited until the doctor left. Then she started telling me about the pills she could get me. Better than Vicodin, according to her. This sounds like a false alarm.
311A complete.
Adama, why you gotta do me like this? You know how short-staffed we are. You couldn't catch a 9-year-old. Alright, Rafael Campos, the museum guard. I walk the museum every hour. The alarm is off. City Hall won't allocate money to fix it. I didn't hear the glass breaking. It's a big museum. When I went down this way again, it was already early morning. The window was broken and the canvas was cut from the frame. There was no trace of anyone around, just a brick line on the floor. From the parking lot camera, the parking lot was empty all night. In the morning, a cyclist went past with a tube on his shoulder. The guy slowly rolled to the parking lot and left the bike for a couple of minutes and went out of sight. When he came back, got on the bike and left. Mr. Vanderhoff, art school student. I suffer from insomnia and often go cycling around the city late at night. I took a tube and some other equipment so I wouldn't have to go back home before my morning classes at the art school. I stopped at the museum to pee. I admit it, I like to mark the corner of the building. I imagine one day my work will be hanging inside. Jeremiah Stevens, a teacher at the art school. In his lectures on the works of the Dutch masters, Bram van der Hoef always sharply criticized the works of De Vroom. He dismissed the legendary artist as overpriced mediocrity and was very amused when an unknown De Vroom painting was discovered at the city dump. He said it was already in its proper place. He was less amused when he discovered that the De Vroom painting would be hung in the museum. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Bram who broke into the museum and stole the painting, to burn it or cut it into tiny pieces. The museum window, the glass is almost completely broken out. A grown man could easily climb through the window and not cut himself. Most of the shards are lying on the pavement outside the museum. Outside. It was an inside job. It was Mr. Campos. Maximilian Bloomingdale was killed in a car accident. According to preliminary reports, it appears he was drunk. It was your first day on the job, Bloomingdale. And there actually was an offender because you died on the way. Ugh, Freeburg is going to hell in a handbasket. Mr. Boyd, I'm a wealthy man and I'm concerned about the fate of our fair city. I would like to fund 3 additional officer positions in your police department, but I must make one condition. My adopted son is to take one of the new jobs. Of course, you mustn't fire him under any circumstances. Do we have a deal? Your son's gonna be a piece of shit, but deal. We need it. Shift B. Beckman, you're on. Hoskin, you're on. Batinsky, maybe. Alright, so Percy and Huff are going to be our sand people. Some goons grabbed the half-sister of one of our family members right from the street. Her driver called us from a nearby payphone, but he's a wimp and couldn't actually do anything. From the description we got, it sounds like Vargas men. If you get there first, hold onto them for us. Don't hurt them too much, just make sure you don't let them escape. We have something special planned for them. Jesus Christ, Percy. Percy, we're gonna make a cop out of you yet. Been a robbery at the city center. A parking valet just called in reporting that a girl exiting an expensive car was approached by a man wearing a hood who threatened her and took her bag. Woodard, you're one of our last good guys. Seems to have alcohol problems. Jesus Christ.
910-412 in progress.
Good job, Woodard. Shippy's a disaster. Assault with an offensive weapon. An older prisoner at the Diamond Dog State Penitentiary. An older prisoner, tired of eating the food served by the prison cafeteria, made his way into the kitchen carrying a shiv, intent on having a word with the chef. A guard called the police as he was reluctant to enter the kitchen for fear of further provoking the prisoner. We have terrible people, so Austin, Adama, you're gonna have to take this one. Why don't they just use the prison guards? I feel like we're not doing very well.
Looks like we have a situation.
The kitchen floor is decorated with broken plates and an overturned pan filled with muddy slush. An elderly prisoner is sitting on a stool, dipping his hand into the pot of the slush, shoving it to the cook's face, yelling, "You try to eat this shit." You're lucky you got fed at all. Hey, we got a couple nice warm burgers here. Let's cook up something else. It only takes a minute. Let's bribe him with burgers.
412.
Oh my god, it worked. What? Oh. I guess he killed the chef. feel sad about that, actually. I'm not going to lie. No new frames found. Okay. Theft. Got some new frames. Alright. Alright, so the night guard was patrolling. And then the night guard broke the window. No, he's got a bag, so maybe that's him leaving. Or maybe that's him coming. And then he picked up a brick. We need more frames for that. God damn it, Bloomingdale! She called the cops and the cop died on the way. Because he was fucking drunk. Yeah, you're fucking dead. Alright, former City Hall employee admits official unemployment data far from reality. Citizen earnings have fallen 9% since the new year. Unemployment in Freiburg is the lowest in history. That seems counter to the other two headlines. I'm too tired, I can hardly walk straight. Can I go home? Yes, Stovall, you burned it. Stovall's an old man. We'll make some accommodations for Stovall. Listen to this one today. Okay, yes, this sounds good. Alright, we need to replace Bloomingdale. Jesus Christ. And Batinsky, you're up. Funeral for Asano. This woman was an honest servant of the city, buried with military honors. Kochi. Purdy. Tsubaki. Yancey. Robbins. Oh, Robbins. Tomorrow's the deadline. It's not gonna happen. Ugh, Sheriff 50%. Alright. The elderly Emma Weston called in a complaint about her neighbors. Her house is shaking from loud sounds of gnashing metal and the roar of turbines, accompanied with some strange beeping noises. Through the window, she also saw people moving around. That actually sounds quite serious, so we're going to send in Lord Nordlander, and he can take White with him as well. Birch, good to see ya. Good to see ya.
710 in progress.
Hostage situation with a fatal casualty. Alright, so SWAT and paddy wagon, yes. Patients at the local asylum rebelled against the nurses during breakfast. 3 nurses have been wounded, while others remain locked in with patients in the dining area. They've threatened to kill 1 nurse every hour until they're released. Alright, Fall. I can just click on people. That's awesome. Fall, Hode, and Megadopolis. You're up. I didn't realize I didn't have to drag them. Alright, I don't know what they were doing. I'm very interested. I like how you just drove across the ocean there, or drove across the bay. Reporters and onlookers have gathered around the building. The asylum patients are watching, and the growing crowd from the windows on the 3rd floor. Colin and negotiators storm the front door, gain entrance through the back door. No! I'm so bad at this game. Hode and Megadopolis. The city's so dangerous. A frightened woman phoned in reporting that 2 men dressed in armor were running through the street shouting, "Beware our stings!" They were chasing passersby and swinging their blades at them. They've not done anyone harm, but their swords seem dangerous enough. Alright, Grant, you and Quatch go out there. can't believe it. I can't believe it. Megadopolis was so good, so was Hode. They were on the force less than a week. Alright, good job, guys. Grant, you're 200. You got so many man points. Alright, Birch. An old friend is visiting Mr. Sand, and they're planning on going horseback riding, but the owner of the country club just called. He wasn't making much sense, but it sounded like some punks were beating Mr. Sand's horses to death. Oh my goodness. Save the horses. Well, Grant moved up in the world, but it's not hard to be more professional than a dead man. Ugh, that's so upsetting. I'm so bad. It's like I'm losing someone every day. Yeah, I feel it. Noise complaint from the ghetto. Clem Urive reports that suspicious people are constantly going in and out of the apartment next door. They're carrying big bags, making lots of noise, screaming, and his 3 sons can't concentrate on their homework. Mr. Urive urges someone's got to show these bandits who's boss. You know what? Take the paddy wagon. Why not? We'll keep Grant and Quatch, though. I hope the next job isn't more important than needing the paddy wagon. A whole mob of Vargas's people attacked a truck belonging to one of our companies. The truck is carrying some important cargo, but only the kind only Mr. Sand and his deputies know about. The driver tried to call us, but we lost the connection. He may already be dead. We gotta stop those assholes before they make off with the goods. Okay, cool. Good job, everyone. Sell the automatic weapons. No new frames found. Come on, guys. We did get some new frames for this. See, I told you they're okay. He didn't kick. Oh, this is in the confessionals booth. Okay, this didn't happen. This did not happen because that would be Father Nunez. And he didn't. He just shoved him. He didn't kick him. So none of this happened. Ugh. In the day. Sand is doing well. Declare Hode dead and declare Megadopolis dead. I don't like the idea of keeping their bodies in the morgue. I really don't. Plus, if they're living on paper, that means they're probably taking up a slot, and we can't afford that. Chief physician at St. John's Hospital accused of slander, former mafia member bemoans City Hall corruption, and mayor declines services of spokesman. I speak for myself. Alright, this will be the last day we play. Olaho. Too tired, I can hardly walk straight. No, we're gonna make a cop out of you. City officials want to demolish my house because of some bureaucratic error. If I don't resolve the problem today, my family's gonna have to find another place to live. Can I have the day off? That's kind of important. I drank too much. I don't think I can hold it together today. God damn it, Batinsky. Yes. Oh my god, you are exhausted. Yes. I accidentally broke my bathroom mirror. No! Guys! Guys. Let's listen to the blue one today. Okay. Please be advised we're unhappy with the efficiency of the Freeburg PD. We're cutting the department's budget. What? Price? I'm sorry. Yeah.
611 in progress.
There's been a rape at the bakery. 2 homeless men made their way into the local bakery under the cover of darkness, where they ate their fill and bedded down for the night. In the morning, the bakery owner Gregory Martinez, along with cashier Anna Lucas, went inside and discovered the damage. The homeless man, armed with knives, were unhappy to be disturbed and attacked their victims. The shopkeeper managed to escape, but the cashier remained inside with the homeless men, who were seen tearing off her clothes. Right, McCoy, you're in the lead with this, and take some women with you, and take Price too. We're not to fire Percy, we're not allowed, and we need a Sands guy anyway. After the incident with the horses, we secretly transferred Mr. Sands' guest to a local hotel, nice Psycho reference, and set up a guard outside. Suddenly we're hearing screams coming from his room, and there's water flowing from the bathroom. We'll break down the door, but a police presence won't hurt.
611 complete.
Alright, good. I'm sorry, Price, but there's budget cuts. You're very old anyway.
311A in progress.
2 truckers fell to blows over a parking space in the lot near the diner. The cook tried to separate them, but was struck by a wild punch and is now lying on the ground motionless. Woodard and Beckman, you guys can go in. Did I let Batinsky go home? I did let Batinsky go home because he's drunk and low. And Middleton's also home because she's exhausted for some reason. Ugh. There's been a theft at St. John's Hospital. Alright, so we need to pull some people. Detectives. Let's take Weaver off of this one. And we'll take Armstrong off of this one, but put Alejo on. Alright, so Weaver, you're gonna lead, and Armstrong, you'll back it up. All the painkillers in the hospital pharmacy disappeared shortly after the building lost electricity. The pharmacy door shows no sign of forced entry. Welcome back, Percy.
311A complete.
Okay. God damn it, guys. Woodard, I'm sorry that Beckman dragged you down. Investigation started. Okay, we'll send Price and Percy on this. Jack, my entire staff at the donut shop came down with the flu, and I haven't been able to find anyone else to help out. Could you please send me a couple of your men? I'm sure they wouldn't mind frying up some donuts. It's easy. I'll show them everything they need to know. My shop barely makes ends meet, and I can't afford even one day of downtime. Price, your last day is making donuts. Alright, Simona Rodriguez, the pharmacist. I went for lunch around 1 o'clock, and a couple minutes later, the lights went out. I shut the door behind me. I remember that I bumped into the janitor's cart that was standing in the hallway. Colin Marcus, head physician. I suspect the student Aaron Jones. He's come by the hospital several times in a state of confusion, with red, searching eyes, dragging his huge backpack behind him. It never occurred to me that he might be an addict. Aaron Jones, a student. I was in the bathroom when the lights went out. The only thing I saw was what you normally see when you're sitting on the toilet. Oh, and then a janitor came into the restroom with his cart. I heard him emptying the bin. Then the lights came on and I went to the head physician's office for a signature, but he wasn't there. Laszlo Bodnar, janitor. Yes, I have the keys to the pharmacy. I washed the floors there, just like everywhere else. But I don't have access to the electrical panel. Only my superiors have those keys. And here's another mystery. What happened to my garbage bags? Someone took them out of my truck and I can't find them anywhere. The last frame before the film cuts out shows the janitor going down the corridor, his cart standing near the door of the hospital pharmacy. Time code 1303. Alright, so Aaron is lying. Because he did not have his cart with him. And what kind of physician does not, I'm telling you, Chief, standing over that file is hellish work. I'd rather dodge bullets than spray from the boiling oil. At least Mrs. Marvin's promises she'll keep us in donuts for the rest of the year. Unless, of course, yeah, what kind of doctor doesn't recognize an act when he sees one? We need backup. Some punk's trying to crash one of our poker games, and we aren't about to let them walk off with the money. So now we've got ourselves a standoff. A couple of officers on the scene would change the situation in our favor. Public indecency at the last show theater. During a special viewing of the thriller Law Abiding Max 3, a theater employee discovered one of the members of the audience had removed his pants. The man noticed the employee was watching him and responded with the threat that he would cut the throats of everyone in the theater. Alright. This sounds like a job for the 100 crew. Alright, so Adama hasn't actually gone out today. Oh shit, McCoy has alcohol problems? The theater isn't too crowded, and the film is in full swing. Throw a heavy object at the offender, carefully approach the man. Turn the lights to take aim at the... Let's just carefully approach him. Damn it. Alright, Team 90 man points.
211 in progress.
Vandalism at the suburb. A man who wished to remain anonymous reported that a group of teenagers had once again made fun of his name by writing insulting rhymes on a 6-foot-wide garage. The man is enraged and threatened that next time he'll use a weapon to defend his armor. Alright, McCoy and Adama, you guys can go out. Hopefully McCoy is good enough to pull Adama with her and get some Adama some man points. I got some new frames. Right, I think it's the security guard. He didn't put the brick away. It wasn't this guy. He didn't take the brick with him, he left it. Okay, yes, perfect. So, he breaks it with his flashlight. That's why the glass is on the outside. Then he picks up a brick outside and throws it inside. I got some more new frames. Alright, so I think the janitor's innocent here. But I think the teenager is part of it.
211 complete.
Good job. You both got some man points. Price, did you have a good last day? I hope so. Oh, the sands are just killing it. End the day. Are we gonna get some story? Nope, okay. Well, that I think is all the time I have for today, so thank you everybody so much for watching. I have been Rael, and I'll see you next time. Bye!